The next thing I'm going to show you is how to create a dodecahedron. Now, a dodecahedron is, you can break down the prefixes for your students and make sure they know do means 2, deca, 10, 2, 12. It has 12 sides, okay? So, I'm going to show you kind of in steps of how to put this together. These can be, you're going to get something like this. And I have made copies of this for you on cardstock in color. So you should be receiving these. And it has directions over on the side. Now we're going to make a larger model. On your files, you will also have a smaller model where you have 2 per page. So you can actually break this into for your class and have like, break it down into groups and have like each person in the group do 2 or 4 or however you would like to do it. But I have just the blank models for you. But this I have made for our human body systems, and I've actually gone through and filled it out for you so that you can have an exemplar model for your students. And over on the side, it has directions for them. Okay, so like this is the first side, and it's called Circle 1, and it says the title, the name, date, class period, and you're going to illustrate it. So here, all you're going to need is the circle, and the directions are over on the side. And each page is the same thing, but you will not need those directions once you cut this out. I always have my students create this before they cut it out. I look over it, grade it, make sure it looks good before they cut it out, because that way they'll have their name on it and everything. What you're going to have them do is you're going to have them cut out the full circle, and then on the dotted lines, you're going to have them fold each circle. So I've already done this one for time's sake, and I folded up on each of these, okay? And that's going to help you put this together. This is going to be a great, usually when I have my students do this, and you can do it, like I said, any topic that you're covering, it's a great review. I usually have mine hanging from like the ceiling, or you can do different things with these, sit them on shelves. It's a great review piece. So what you're going to do, I always start with one side, and you're going to put the 5 sides around it, okay? You can use staples, you can use glue, you can use tape, whatever you want. So I'm going to just start with one, and I'm going to tape a side together, just like this, okay? And then, so I've just put one on this one. I'm focusing on one thing right here, okay? And so I'm going to put one on each of the little flaps. I'm going to take the second one. I'm going to put it on that flap there. I'm going to tape this together. I'm going to do the same thing for the third one. And it doesn't matter which way it's facing, because like I said, they're all going to be facing different directions, and that's why it's a great review. Now, when you start adding them, you may want to go ahead and start putting the side together as well. Okay, so I've got this here, and I'm going to put these two, connect them here. Okay, and then I'm going to connect this side. That way, your students are going to, it depends on my class. If I have like a higher level class, I will let them put their own together. But if I have lower level students in my class, a lot of times I will put them together for them, or because this can be a little confusing when they have too many. Okay, so then I'm going to put one on the next one, and I'm going to add another piece of tape to connect these here. And you can see this is a larger model. That, like I said, this is an exemplar model. Your students can do smaller to save time, to save space, whatever you need them for would work. Okay. And then this is the final piece. So this one's going to have 2 pieces to put these together. So this is the final piece of this half. I always focus on a half at a time. Okay, so this is a half. So you're going to have the other half, you're going to put it together before you put them, because it gets way too confusing if you try to connect those together at the same time. So I found this is easier, that you just do a half at a time. So I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other side. I'm going to focus on one circle and put each piece on around that one circle. so that there's no confusion. And then once you get this together, you can put the put those two halves together. And each of these, like I said, I have done each system of the human body. I've done plant, animal cells, and each system that we discuss in human body systems. And I've got the definition, and you can have them color or illustrate in some way. Sometimes you can have them, I don't know how much access you have to technology at your school, but you could also have them print out pictures or do this digitally and print it out. That, like I said, is up to you and how much time and space that you have, and you're going to have access to the small and large options as well. And I also have this actual that I've printed out added to your file as well. Okay, so I've got two halves, and so I'm literally going to go through and make sure that these line up and take these two halves together, and this is a large model of the dodecahedrons. You will only put two per side. And so what you can do is you can get a string and you can put it in the middle of it and tape string to it, or you can staple a string to it, whatever works best for you, and you can hang it from the ceiling if your school allows you to do that. Or you can just sit it on a shelf or whatever you would like. Some people like to laminate them. I did not laminate these. I feel like the cardstock is just as sturdy. So I did print these out on cardstock in color for you to use as an exemplar model in your classroom. And almost done. And it does not take this long when you have the smaller models, but you can see it is a little tedious. And there you have it, your dodecahedron that has 12 sides.